Welcome everyone to the Feminine Archetype Rebrand 6-day challenge. I was telling those of you who are here live that being here with a bunch of people talking about the archetypes reminds me of the very first feminine activation training series we led years ago, about 7 years ago. And I'm so happy to be back talking about the same archetypes, but with 7 years of transformation and glow up and evolution. And it's about time to revisit these archetypes and see how they can add to our lives in new ways. So I want to share a little bit about what to expect this week and in each of the trainings. So the calls will be about an hour long. They are a slightly different format than the old activations because we're not doing as much like energetic awakening inside. That's what those level 1, 2, 3 activations are for. This glow up and rebrand is really it's more of an application. It's like a sort of the archetypes in this physical modern day world. Everything from clothing and interior design and ways of speaking and walking and leading yourself in the world, to more nuanced things such as values and just modern ways of being that I have personally found to be timeless and incredibly valuable to work on holding as women, because a lot of what we will be talking about over the next 6 days is rare energies. I've been talking about them as elite feminine frequencies. So that's what you can expect. Is this training is really all about evolving not just into your next level self, but just having an open conversation about where the world is at, what we see out there in the masses, and what we're choosing to cultivate individually as well as in a community, to bring back more of that timeless elegance and poise in class that's missing really in this world today. So we're actually starting with the Queen archetype, mostly because she's kind of leading this whole training, in my opinion, because she's such a strong embodiment of just some of those energies I just talked about. And that's a lot of the theme of this week. So we'll work with her, and yeah, I will start each day going into what the archetypes originally taught us. And then we're going to evolve into what that looks like in today, and some of the new frequencies that we're working on that are they were present before, but it's kind of like we've already activated those. Now we're working on a new set of energies to hold and embody. So we'll move into that, and then toward the end of each call, we will also go into some of the physical things you can do to bring these archetypes into your life through style and fashion, through beauty and aesthetics. And so that will be really fun. And I invite you, if you would like, to each day. So we're doing the Queen this evening. So I would invite you tomorrow to sort of try on the Queen energies that we're working on, and live your day really working on bringing her energies into your life. Maybe that's through some fashion or just the way you carry yourself, the way you speak. We'll get into it, but I would invite you this week to really try on each of the archetypes as we go through them, and like create a theme for each day. So you'll end your day with a new archetype to start the next day. So tomorrow I would encourage you to, try on the Queen and really be with her energies. And then the next day, we'll just keep going. So that's a fun little challenge for you to really make the most of your time here. Okay. Just gonna pull that little piece of toothless fur off the couch. It's bothering me. Okay, so checking in with the chat. Everyone who's here. It's really nice to be with you all. Yeah. Okie dokie. So many of you have already done the feminine activation trainings, but I want to review how the archetypes work and why they are helpful support systems and just tools to have in our life. So when I first started Elevated Woman and I did the feminine activation trainings, the archetypes for me were a way that I was able to essentially imagine femininity and imagine a way of being that felt foreign to me. So depending on how we were raised, our family culture, our greater community around us, we as women, most of us will have strengths in certain aspects of our femininity. So for example, some women are just very naturally nurturing and gentle and warm and kind and soft and very generous with their energy. There's like, you are around them and you just feel comforted. Other women are beautifully creative and expressive and artistic and embodied, confident in their authentic self. And that's also equally beautiful and feminine. Others have a natural poise and elegance to them, natural high standards. They seem to attract, like they hold self-respect and also attract respect and don't have any problem, I guess, having those high standards in life, whereas others maybe do worry and wonder if they, struggle with those boundaries and leading that highly valuable life. So the theme here is simply, we all are strong in certain aspects of our femininity, and in other areas we can have growth. And what the archetypes offer is an opportunity to recognize, okay, I really resonate with sort of like the feminine frequencies, the feminine energies that this archetype embodies. I naturally feel connected to the earth and the rhythms and the cycles of nature and all these things and my emotions. And so that's not a problem. I feel confident in that area of my life, but I want to learn how to, here's another example, feel more comfortable receiving and being the center of attention and like letting a man, for example, take care of me. So we can work with the archetypes to learn new ways of being that feel foreign, to create the most, what's a good way of saying this? The archetypes help us fill in the gaps in our feminine embodiment and help us to become the woman that we've always envisioned and wanted to be, even if we haven't had the modeling and built the neural pathways to naturally embody those things. The archetypes, through our imagination and just through our innate inner wisdom, offer that blueprint. So level 1, 2, and 3 is all about that. It's all about, awakening that innate wisdom and connecting to the archetypes naturally, and it's beautiful. And yeah, we're doing the same thing. So nothing's really changed there, but we're just taking it to the next level and sort of like modernizing the archetypes a little bit. I personally have gone through so much change in my life. My brand, Elevated Woman, originally started out very, very whimsical, magical, fairy tale, all of that. And I still love that so much, but it was a reflection of where I was at in my femininity. It was very open. My heart was like beautifully exposed. I was incredibly trusting and didn't really have a lot of boundaries and filters to my subconscious mind, which none of us really do. We're always constantly taking in information. And that's feminine power that we hold.
I'm sorry about your situation today with your meals.
But when you don't build up a bit of and that self-trust,
they both came at the same time.
You know,
this came super late.
Feel into our own personal boundaries. Hold on one second.
Can I have a slice?
All right. Is that better? Can you guys hear me? Okay, good. So yeah, this elevation and rebrand that the archetypes are going through is it's taking that soft feminine that so many of the women that are attracted to this community hold, which is it's the epitome of it's the preciousness of femininity. It's so sacred. And but this glow up is here and designed to drop deeper into the value of that value that we hold as women, and also learn how to protect it, not out of fear, but out of respect for ourselves and the people in our lives and the life that we're committed to creating for ourselves. So we're dropping into an even deeper level of value, of self-value, where we learn how to discern and have even stronger boundaries and have even higher standards and elite expectations of what we're willing to accept in our life. With this, we will likely, if you kind of commit to this like glow up journey, which it will be beyond 1 week, but if you kind of this program like resonates with you and you keep going with it and you bring these archetypes into your life and work on what we're learning, you will find that it is the word elite is accurate, and it's not better than, but it's moving away from what the masses are doing and moving more into an exclusive way of being. And you will have to let go. Not everyone wants to rise up to that. So life can end up being your life may end up feeling a little bit more strict, but you're living at a higher vibration and the higher quality in every single way of your thoughts, your finances, your environment, your friends, your love relationship. Everything is operating at that elite level. So that's part of that's just like a couple of the intentions of this week is we don't really need to in this community, I find, awaken our femininity. Like we've done that. Everyone's very, very deeply feminine. But this is going to another level of now protecting and guarding that sacred heart and sacred energy through elite frequencies, mainly focusing on self-respect and anyway, we'll go into it, but yeah, that's kind of the little spiel here at the beginning of why I'm doing this glow up and what to expect. So any questions before we continue? Oh, it's so fun to have a big group. I love it. It's so fun. I had almost 200 people sign up for the challenge. So, and my goal is 200. So yeah, it's just, I love this community and this is perfect for my book. I love it. Okay, awesome. Yay, MJ. Yes. Okay, so let's take a moment and we'll close our eyes. You can place your hand over your heart or not, old school elevated woman ways. And we'll just take a moment to just settle into our bodies and take a couple deep breaths in and out. And just start to feel your brain energy, your mind energy, all that external movement or that upward movement of energy as you're thinking and being in the world. And feel your body become still. And see if you can almost imagine that upward movement or outward movement of energy shift in its direction. And now that upward movement is falling downward like a waterfall, a soft, gentle rain of energy flowing consistently toward your heart from all directions, just coming back toward you. And as you feel that energy come back toward you, notice the calm that follows as you collect and contain your attention and your focus. As you bring your attention back to yourself. And then just scan your body and see if there's anywhere that feels like it wants to fidget. And take a moment to simply breathe into those spaces. You could ask what they're trying to communicate. And ultimately, like a wise, beautiful, elegant mother, you bring a sense of neutrality to those parts of you that are wanting attention and speaking up. And that neutrality offers a space for those places to just breathe and calm, to feel accepted and not rejected. It's like a covering over you of this peaceful, grounding, feminine presence. And then very briefly, we're going to go back in time and connect to the original queen archetype and just simply imagine this beautiful, beautiful queen in a beautiful robe, perhaps walking through a rose garden, stately. Notice what color she is wearing. Notice if there's texture to her dress and her robes. Notice if there's a crown on her head and the weight of the fabric that covers her. Notice the temperature in the air and the beautiful environment around her, the color of the sky and the sounds of the birds and the insects. Notice how she is walking and her posture. Notice the openness of her chest, both open and contained heart. Present and protected with discernment and awareness. And take one final breath in. And as you exhale, just feel all that energy move down through your body, through your feet, and into the earth. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Okay, so that felt so good to connect to her in my imagination, at least. It felt so good to just like activate the imagination and spend time with her as an archetype. So those old energies that we just touched into, they're not old, they're timeless. The energies of revisiting what the Queen taught us originally. I love that. Like, that's awesome. So that the dignity, the honor, nobility, regal presence, elegance, and calm are just a few. So we could list out the feminine frequencies, but notice how you feel in your body after bringing her into your imagination, what she taught you, what you uniquely noticed, and feel free to share in the chat. That's a great way to just like get the most out of this is share your experiences as we go. So feel free to do that. And so obviously we are not queens in a castle with a rose garden wearing a crown and you know, beautiful robes. Unfortunately, I wish that was my reality. I really do. So with this rebrand, we're taking that beautiful vision in our imagination and bringing it into real life and seeing how can we bring the energies that we felt in that vision into our behavior, into our actions, and our world. So these are a few of the elite feminine frequencies that I would invite you to write down and work with, especially tomorrow. You can build out this list. We can continue to build this list out together. But these are some of the frequencies that I have been working with in my own life over the last few years with the Queen in particular, that have made a big difference in my life. Okay, so one of them repeats. So you can write all of the, all the original: honor, dignity, elegance, respect, nobility, regal, and there's many more that are beautiful frequencies to work with. And for this glow up specifically, sophistication, etiquette, poise, exclusivity, elegance, again, elite, classic, and timeless. So I'll say those again: sophistication, etiquette, poise, exclusivity, elegance, elite, classic, and timeless. So share this comment. It felt so good to feel that special and honored and feminine in such an elevated way that I noticed guilt come up, like it's bad to want to be a queen because a queen means having privilege others don't have and being above others. Yeah, so I get that, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Thanks for bringing that up. Because yeah, so like the word elite and exclusive, I wrote that down too. I was like, okay, we need to address this because it's not about embodying the Queen in this modern way is not about believing that you are better than anyone. impossible. We are not better than anyone. It does come with privilege, because to even be here on this call is incredibly privileged for all of us. And to be taken care of enough in our lives that we get to be in this world today. I mean, as crazy and kind of scary as it feels sometimes, we're spending our time talking about how to become, like, you know, we spend our time, we can afford to think about fashion and manners and sophistication, you know, art. Like, we are privileged, absolutely. For me, one of the reasons why I very much value what the Queen embodies is I find and feel that there's a lot of darker programming, darker agenda. You know, I don't know what you believe, but there are some not great forces that are working against the sacredness of humanity, and specifically womanhood. So by quietly, gently, gracefully choosing to maintain the class and dignity, we are gently fighting against that battle and saying, no, I will not fall for that programming that is designed to exploit humanity and the heart and woman and sex and everything. My life, my way of being, my presence will be an embodiment of grace and class and poise and elegance, because those are values that, you know, for me, they've become values over the value of exposing. Okay. I felt elite just means we don't entertain less than we deserve. Beautiful. Yeah. Estrella, oh, so happy you're here. I felt the feeling of unbothered, like everything is handled and perfect and in order, but I got a sense that I couldn't or wouldn't smile. Okay, yeah, we can talk about that. Actually, we will. Okay. So, Queen teaches us how to move from trends to timeless beauty and fashion. She helps us move from revealing ourselves to concealing ourselves. She helps us move from being exposed to exclusive. And she helps us move from chaos to containment. Think of TikTok and the exposure and the revealing and the chaos and the trends that are present. So the timeless beauty that the Queen rebrand gives us is, again, it's more rare. It is more rare. It's not like collared button-up shirts. Like I can't even begin to tell you guys, like, not that I wear this every day, but for the last couple years, 3 years now, I have intentionally woken up every day, especially for 2 years. This last year I've kind of slacked a little bit, and gotten ready every single day. I've done my hair, my makeup, and put on a nice outfit. Most of the time I wear heels just because I love it. I love the way it makes me feel. And I wear clothes that we don't really see in the world. It's not, I don't follow trends. I mean, a little bit, tiny bit, but not really. I know I've curated my style. I know what I'm going for. I know the kind of energy I want to put out there. And it is so wild how overdressed. I don't think I'm overdressed, but I just think the world is underdressed. But what's amazing to me is how rare it is to really just be put together these days. I think of my grandma Gogo. I just spent the weekend with my family, and she was there, and I think she's like 87 now. And she, I mean, still to this day, like, does not walk out of the house without her pearls, without her jewelry, and she had yeah, there was a lot of money with that side of the family, but that's not the point. It's what we had some conversations about it, actually. It's not really about the money, it's about the values. It's about what you choose to, how you choose to treat yourself. And with that, that's really where the value comes from. It's, yes, you can see more of that, especially like with old money and back in the day. But what's timeless and what I'm choosing to carry forward is, it doesn't have to be about money, but it's the values. Okay, so I was talking to a friend about like old money rich versus like new money rich. And what we see on TikTok and Instagram and all that, when people are like flashing their wealth, it's not very tasteful. And it's like, even like the style of homes, it can be very flashy, very modern. Not that the modern's bad, but it's just different. Whereas I'm bringing up old money and kind of high society, because even if we don't personally resonate with that in our life, it can be a fun and cool thing to think about in terms of an archetype. And I think the Queen very much embodies, like, has some of that in the archetype, is the old money world, like the think of families that, okay, so I wrote this down. Let me slow down for a second. Okay. Why is exclusive and elite important? So ultimately, it's a protection of value. It doesn't have to be the value of money and wealth, but for us, it's recognition that our energy is valuable. Our presence, our soul, our hypostasis, our personhood, our unique presence is valuable. Old money families had assets, and they had to be smart about how to protect those assets. As women, we have assets, we have our feminine energy, and we have to be smart about protecting those assets, protecting our heart, protecting our body, protecting our sexuality, our sensuality. Not because we're in danger and the world is out to get us or anything. Like, it's not coming from fear, it's coming from being wise and smart. So old money families, high society, there's an avoidance of drama. There's a desire to don't want to get involved with drama, because drama leads to chaos, and chaos, anyway, it's just, there's a value of, so part of the reason that world values, right, there's values of self-respect and respect of others. There's a value for class and sophistication, these things, because class is safety, class is order, alignment, and sanctity. So the Queen, in her rebranded era that we're stepping into, this is part of what's fun about her, is maybe some of this stuff feels like it doesn't even resonate with you, and you're like, why are we talking about high society? But it's an archetype, and the power of a glow up and a rebrand is stepping into new ways of being and energies and frequencies that may feel foreign, but can teach us a lot of things. They can teach us really valuable lessons that may begin to transform us and change us. I know for myself, when I started to, like, I grew up with my go-go on one side of the family, and like my other side of the family, or my dad kind of came from that world, but then we grew up and he was a river guide, that was his career. And so I grew up on the river and with like these super fancy dinners. And as I've gotten older, I've realized that as much as my immediate family kind of had a different set of values, I was still raised with these other set of values. And it taught me a lot. It's taught me a lot about womanhood, just to see kind of like, at this point in my life, I've seen the fruits of different cultures and different communities. Not that that's the end all be all, but I have gotten to a place in my life where I have decided that I've noticed a lot of what like the culture creates and what the fruits are. And I know the fruits I want to create. So I've been pouring myself into sort of embracing that other culture and that programming, because it's, I mean, for one, it's rare, and it's kind of lost in this modern day world. And it's teaching me about being a woman in a way I think I really need it, because it's moved me from the open exposure to the soft containment, the soft protection, and realizing why that's valuable and why that's important. So is that landing with you guys, that protection, we, like the Queen teaches us to protect what is valuable? Yeah. To protect what is valuable. And yeah, okay. So how do we protect it? This is where class, etiquette, order, tradition comes in. Those are signs, those are ways that we protect. Alrighty. I feel like it takes money to have the time to take care of yourself at the level that creates the level of grooming and beauty. The meme, "You're not ugly, you're poor," makes a lot of sense to me. When you're working all the time and or in survival mode, it's hard to keep up taking care of yourself from head to toe. From outside in, beauty and being polished and feeling feminine in general is a sign of regulation and being resourced. So I want to try to create a life that allows me to live at that level. Absolutely. This is so true. It really is. And I'll say from experience that it also is very much a choice. You know, it's like I used to have, my hair used to be wild. I wouldn't even brush it. It was like I was in my full goddess era, like just wild, natural, untamed, unleashed. We'll talk about her soon. And all of that is very beautiful and feminine, but it's like Letha said, you know the tree by its fruit. It just creates different fruits. It creates a different environment for you, both externally and internally. When I chose to get ready every day, it was amazing how much effort it took for a whole year to, it was an incredible amount of effort to put in to my, it took more energy than I expected. There were some mornings I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really tired. I really don't want to get ready. But over time, I got used to it. And now it feels weird to, you know, like walk out into the world looking disheveled. And it's not about looks being like the most important thing, but it's about self-respect and respecting others. But it's a self-respect thing. I find that beauty starts within, and eventually the external begins to reflect the internal and becomes extremely beautiful in the most magical ways. It's so cool, literally like magic. Yeah, exactly. And it's true. Beauty, we see there's absolutely such a thing as beauty on the outside and not beauty on the inside. That is not what we're here for in Elevated Woman. Like that's, I think my very first training ever was 3 ways to have something about like true beauty, and it's all about the inner beauty and energy and alignment and frequency and spirituality and all these things. So, and again, that's what the Queen is helping us to embody. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the fit I wrote. So she is well groomed. She has hair that is polished, nails that are polished. They don't have to be professionally done or anything, but there's a beauty in the detail. Paying attention to the detail is, like Lily said, it is ultimately a sign, a status symbol, that you have the luxury to pay attention to the details. You can figure out how you know, if this resonates with you, maybe it doesn't, but that is important. So I'm just gonna speak from a place of, I think there's a part of me that's like, well, I don't want them to think that like this is all about looks and everything. It's just reality. There's an impact in this modern day of our external in the world, how people treat us, the men that are attracted to you. Like, it just is a reality that there, you know, when we present ourselves in one way, it's going to create a certain outcome. When we present ourselves in another way, it'll create another outcome, and everything in between. So the queen we're teaching today, we're working with her specific presence, her specific set of programs. What's fun is the style that I'll be talking about today is very different than the style of like the enchantress on the last day, who's more like the femme fatale, fun, it's beautiful. So, but it's a totally different style. So, yeah, exactly. It's not about looks at all. It's a feeling, very sacred too, not the public, get ready with me type. Exactly. Very internal. It just feels really good. The looks are just a natural shine or light that gets emitted. That's my experience. Absolutely. Like when I put on my rings, my jewelry, my rings especially, I love rings. I don't know why. It's like a symbol and everything. It's a symbol of I'm choosing to be put together. I'm choosing to walk out into the world with rare elegance, rare class, because it's a value that I hold, because of everything it stands for. Because secretly, people don't know that when I wear this jewelry, I'm intentionally fighting this battle that I believe is going on behind the scenes, where the world is being, you know, kind of exploited and women are being used, and there's just this like downturn of grace and class and beauty and respect of women and men. So it's like all of that is just symbolized by putting my jewelry on and getting ready every day. And I will say too, it's been really, really hard. It's really hard to, I've had a lot of internal work I've had to do, just feeling uncomfortable, like people are judging me for being overdressed or wearing, like, why are you, like so many comments that you might end up facing if you do choose this part of the glow up, of confronting like that discomfort of people's judgment, because people do judge. And I used to be really affected by that. Now I really don't care. Now I'm just like, yeah, people think I'm overdressed. I think the world is underdressed. But again, it's layered. There's symbols, there's symbolism, and it has secret meaning. And it's very powerful to code your life with this secret symbolism and like, you know what it means. I have a very, I like minimalism, because I have a value of, I don't like to waste my energy. I don't like when I have energy leaks, and stuff is when there's things that we own in our environment, it unless it really belongs there and you really, really love it, all of it takes energy. It's unless you love it and it belongs, and that's kind of giving you energy, and it's a synergistic thing. Most of the time I find, at least for my own life, that's having stuff drains me. So that's another little hack for the queen, is actually, I recommend this week, if you have time and you want to go through this glow up, another hack you can do is really, even if it's just one room or one drawer, your kitchen or your bedroom or anything, work on your physical environment and eliminating what you absolutely do not love. Because the power of a glow up and a rebrand is, we recognize there so much of our world, our thoughts, our closet, our what we own is from the past, and we hold on to those things even when we have evolved, even when what we value is different, even when what we want is different, and yet we're surrounded by reminders of the old stories and the old belief systems and everything. And so rebrand is so powerful, because you come out into the world and you are different. You look different. Your presence is different. The way you talk, speak, everything is different. And it's so exciting. So it's a behind the scenes thing before it's yeah, that's what we're here to do. I've always felt I'm a little of each archetype. As the queen, the value that's uniquely different than the other types is that I'm worthy of leadership energy. That's in addition to everything you said about the queen. Yes, thank you. You guys definitely chime in because so many of the women here, like, we've been working with the archetypes for a while, so it's like a team effort, and I love that. Okay. So that being said, with nails, there's little, and I hope that this is fun for you. I'm like, do I just go broad or do I go specific? I'm gonna try on specific and see if you guys like it. So with nails, the queen is, it's not every color. It's not having nails that, like, you guys see those nails that are like wild and like neon pink and yellow, and it's pretty simple. I pretty much stick to, you do you, everyone, this isn't like one size fits all, but queen archetype, what she's teaching us, is simple elegance. So whether it's square cut or round, and it's like French nails, or I like light soft pinks, red works, classic, timeless, or like cream neutrals. That's pretty much it. There's a lot of other stuff that's pretty wild out there. I don't recommend it. It's not what the queen would wear, and we'll just leave it at that. Okay. So nails are those. That's like it's like not quite clear. It's kind of opaque. Is that right? You're wrong. I'm not a big nail. I just know. I just kind of like don't. I'm not a huge beauty person. I just have like studied what is classic and timeless. Yeah, that milky pink. Yeah, love that. So pretty. Okay, same with makeup. So minimal, classy makeup. It's not like, I mean, and you can do whatever. On our last day with the Enchantress, you'll see like there's a different flavor. Someone said she feels like she's a little bit of all of them. We are all of them. We are absolutely all of the archetypes. I'm going to be dressing like each one each day. So you'll see how the archetypes, I very much integrated all of them. And that's what's fun about them, is it's not about typing yourself. Like when you take a quiz online and you're like, okay, I am this. That's not about it. Where feminine energy is the opposite of fixed. It's dynamic. It's fluid. And so the archetypes, it's more about mastering each of the archetypes, activating the frequencies, being able to have that range, and then being creative with your life. Right now, I'm in a little bit of a queen era. I have like a French countryside vibe going. I love it. I love it because it's timeless. It feels like it couldn't really go out of style, and I've studied like what I love. And so it's an expression of self. That's the ultimate feminine, is self-expression, creativity, beauty. So with that being said, this is an invitation not to choose one archetype and be her. This glow up is, let's have fun and try on new ways of being that may feel like a stretch. Activate new sets of programming that are rare in this modern day world, and figure out this unique little mixture, concoction of your own unique brand. I know my fall style has a lot more enchantress, seductress, femme fatale vibes, because I don't know, I love like the reds, the browns, like the plaid. I have like a vibe. So anyway, that's like more of my fall winter style, but yeah, we'll keep going. Okay, also color palettes. So color palettes, colors and color combos have an effect on both yourself and others. There's color psychology, but there's certain color combos that bring out a level of like classiness and elegance. I'll give you a few of them, and I'm going to create a resource for you guys. I just decided I was going to do this today, so it'll have all of this in it, and I'll talk about that later on. But so navy and cream is a beautiful color combo, totally elegant. White and cream, black and white. There's more color combos, but if you just simply notice like your wardrobe and what you put on each day, even if you just simplify to wearing one to two, maybe three color combos, that alone will elevate a look from just like a look to class and elegance. That's kind of so that's just like a little tip and hack is the color combos and also the number of colors that you wear at a time will have an effect on your elegance. Okay. So, and being aware of your shoes, I have a problem with this where I like really love certain shoes and I wear them probably past when I should, but even just like the details of, are your shoes really, really worn out? Like those things the Queen archetype, and again, we're focused on the external right now. That's something to look out for. Okay, etiquette. Could go have a whole training on etiquette. Maybe I will one day. But this is super important. So posture, the Queen definitely, the archetype is masterful at this beautiful, beautiful upright posture. And it's a sign of confidence. Grace. Okay, thank you so much, Molly. Yeah, we're going to go probably 10 more minutes. We started about 10 minutes into the hour, so we'll go about 10 more minutes. And then yeah, obviously I don't need to teach you guys, I'm not your mother, but but pleases and thank yous, may I please, like all these things, not eating before everyone sat down. Like if you really want to go into the Queen archetype, I highly recommend looking at some etiquette and studying it a little bit. I do all the time just because I even asked my uncle is very into it. Like just about like where you place your silverware at the end of a meal. I always thought it was like to the right, but they were doing it like straight down. So I was just clarifying with that. Like these are things I love because they're timeless, but over time they've never gone out of style, but they've become more rare. So fun things you can practice and work on if you're working on activating the Queen is etiquette. Napkin and lap, obviously a beautiful tradition is thank you notes, having fresh flowers in your home. My favorite flowers for elegance are orchids, roses, and specifically white or pink, and hydrangeas. So those are just beautiful, elegant flowers. Jewelry, same thing, minimal, statement pieces, consistency, pearls, family pieces, simple elegance. Also overall, the Queen it's protection, it's concealment, so it's not very revealing. It's not about, it's just elegant. It's not about revealing her body, but being a bit more covered up. And yeah, okay, so that's the physical. We are gonna go into some of her kind of energy signatures that she's mastered, and there's so many more than what I'm going to talk about, but this is enough this is enough. This is a lot to even just digest. So overall, this is cool. So having an abundance of resources and time comes from boundaries and not allowing energy drains. So like Lily said earlier, that some of this lifestyle and the Queen's branding, which is can be bougie, but it really doesn't have to be. It's just simply, it can just be simple and elegant and thoughtful. But abundance can be associated with it and it can come with it. You know, that's another thing is like when you start to dress this way, it makes you feel this way and act this way. And that can have an impact on what you attract in your life, what you choose to allow, etc. So it can absolutely correlate to the people in your circle that you associate with and all of that. But I'm going to say that again. So abundance of resources and time comes from boundaries and not allowing energy drains. So again, it's going back to protection, not out of fear, but of recognition of the value that we hold. The old money archetype, you know, high society archetype, is a beautiful one to study because again, it teaches us like they do have assets to protect, more in the form of wealth and family legacy and all those things. And so there's no shame, there's not an embarrassment, or there's nothing weird, there's no feeling weird about being protective of that. You just do that. So I would look at your life and yourself, because I know for myself, I've felt I had to kind of work against the programming that I've had, that this modern world teaches, that the world deserves access to me, that I owe the world my heart, my energy, time, eye contact, smiles, all of it. When in reality, those things are precious and valuable. So we can, when we learn how to hold that value, recognize how valuable it is, and then learn how to protect it, that's queen embodiment energy. That's rebrand stuff. Okay, so ways to do this. Strategic silence. She does not, there's a difference when you learn how to create, I've been studying this recently. We have a tendency to want to fill the gaps with noise and talk. When you're in a conversation with someone or on a date, notice if you feel uncomfortable when there's a moment of silence. And if you hop in to fill it, it's actually an elite psychology power move to be able to be silent in that and not have to fill the gap, but let that be filled, let energy come to you rather than expending the energy and feeling like you're the one having to take it over. This is really important with men too, just noticing those ways that you give, and starting little subtle practices where like even that, just letting the silence remain, is an opportunity for you to receive energy, you to hold the energy and get more filled up, or at least keep the energy that you have in the first place, if that makes sense. So there's not a need to talk. There's absolutely no need to try to prove yourself, to get external validation or convince anyone of anything and explain yourself. That is absolutely all a waste of time. And I think probably in like elite debates, it's different, you know, that's kind of like high society stuff, but I don't know, I don't know how to do that. But when you find yourself, if you find yourself in conversations that are draining, think of the queen archetype, because think of that conservation of energy, not out of fear, but out of strategy and intelligence. So once again, it's like saving money. People that have money, when you have wealth, you know how to, abundance doesn't come from always like, there has to be a holding of it. There's a container that builds that abundance, that builds the money. So containing it is like containing our energy. Just because you have energy doesn't mean you have to expend it. That's the mindset of like the elite codes of the queen. She has no problem with containing her energy and keeping it there. And think of a woman who's highly resourced, or like this queen archetype, high society family, passing down the values, the etiquette, the lifestyle, the presence of that to her children, to her little daughters. The abundance of energy she holds when she's not in chaotic relationships, when she has strong boundaries, and she has that protection around her, that her energy remains intact and it's not drained. So she's able to pass that down as legacy. If you have to tell someone you're a lady, you're not beautiful. Yeah. Love this about silence and not proving yourself. I explain myself a lot because of my neurodivergence and being highly sensitive. People get so thrown off by my ways, and I feel that I need to explain so that people can understand and not take my need for a lot of space and slowness personally, for example. Yeah, and there's obviously communication that's important, but but yeah, if you're having to try to like convince someone, you know, of things, it's just you can even simply say like, I'm not here to try to convince you of anything. I'm not going to try to prove myself to you. This is how things are, period. And you leave it at that. And that's like, those are the elite codes. That's what the Queen teaches. I haven't fully mastered it, but I practice it. I practice these kinds of things daily. So that's what this rebrand challenge is for. I'm sharing some of the things I've learned. And I hope that this is supportive and fun for you guys. So just a few more, and then we're gonna hop off for the day. So self-trust, okay, we'll talk about smiling. She knows she doesn't owe everyone a smile. So it's funny that you said that at the beginning. I think it was Ivy. No, it was Estrella. So yeah, so this has also been really, really big for me to shift into this is the soft girl programming, light feminine energy stuff is like, give your heart, give your compassion, give your smiles, give your warmth, give generously. More of the dark feminine, elite feminine programming is not that. We don't actually owe that energy to anyone. When we have abundance, we can have both that balance of warmth, kindness, generosity, and all those things, but it's never at the expense of self, and it's never compromising. So smiling just to have connection, even when it's not authentic, self-erasure. It's, I think that's the way you say it. It's not authentic, and it's not actually a real relationship. So often, one of the biggest ways to drain energy is to not be authentic. Talk about things that will zap energy immediately is when we like have to be someone we're not and keep that relationship going. So authenticity, alignment is like, in my life at least, I find energy pours into my life and my heart, my body, everything when I'm in alignment. So maybe it's not aligned, maybe it's not authentic for you to smile. Maybe it's not authentic for you to be pleasing, and learning how to have that edge and to be unsatisfying to someone, you know, to be displeasing and to not satisfy someone's desires, but when that allows you to remain intact with your integrity and your truth, that's again elite queen codes, elite queen frequencies. It's moving from the light feminine a little bit to that darker edge of, I'm not here to please, I'm here to remain in integrity and alignment, to command respect, not by my words, but simply by the lifestyle and the life I lead, the way I hold myself, the way I speak. It is respect across the board. All right, we don't have to be perfect, but this conversation is a conversation. It's the beginning potentially, or maybe you've been working on these things yourself. But for me, I'm teaching this training because it's something that I have had to learn myself. I've had to really study these things and practice the embodiment of them because it was new and it was challenging. So don't feel bad if this feels like, oh, uncomfortable or new, because yeah, like this is elite. These are elite feminine frequencies. So it's not common. And one other thing about the Queen is I think I wrote it earlier, it's not about being better than anyone. There's no one who is better than anyone else, but the Queen teaches us like people can rise up to that level, but the Queen's never going to take her crown off to come down. People are always welcome to choose elegance and to choose class and self-respect and dignity and honor. That's a personal choice, and anyone can choose those things. Not everyone will. So honestly, less and less people are with our modern programming. But that doesn't mean you don't have to follow the masses. You can choose to remain in that more distinct even if it's rare, set. And for me, I choose to because it's become value for me. It's become a set part of my values. Okay, so just a few more things. Yeah, containment of energy, the protection of the value, that's when the overflow comes, and that's when that beautiful, effervescent, overflowing femininity. We'll talk about more of that with the princess in later on this week. And quiet standards. Yeah, one last thing on this is simply if you choose to practice with her frequencies and these elite codes, there will be many things that no longer fit, maybe relationships, but we can practice the queen archetype in our lives as these things fall out of your life, when you let those things fall quietly, peacefully, gently, gracefully, and with class. That is you practicing the queen embodiment. It doesn't have to be chaotic. It does not have to be loud. It can be private. That privacy is beautiful. It's sacred. And you may learn that privacy is very, very important to you by working with the queen. It's become more and more and more important to me. As someone who's always been like very open, I've learned there's a great value in privacy. Okay. So I'm sending so much love. I want to share, yeah, actually we're gonna end there. I do have, yeah, I'll share more later, but okay, so what to expect next. Tomorrow, we are going to work with the maiden, and I'm really excited to talk to you guys about her. She's holding codes of it's kind of like the next step, builds on the queen, calm nervous system. Soft girl energy, but like, yeah, it's like elite soft girl energy. It's masterful nervous system, calm and collected presence, and just absolutely beautiful. So, and much, much more. So that's tomorrow. See if tonight and tomorrow or tonight, plan it out. Your queen day tomorrow, maybe you put on, just like do your hair differently, put on makeup if you don't normally do it, in a way that feels like classy to you. Maybe puts on some pearls or wear a dress that feels elegant, or practice and play with those color combos. But yeah, I hope that this was fun for you guys. And I love being here, and I'm thinking, okay, definitely the way you speak, you're not supposed to say ums and blah, 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 all that stuff. I'm not perfect. What's fun about the elite frequencies is it's like a passion project. It's a continuous work in progress, whether you're working on your posture or maintaining stillness or etiquette or the way you speak. There's always a way to refine self. And when it comes not from needing to refine self to be loved, but just out of self-value and respect and honor and dignity. That's what we're here for. So thank you so much. Lots of love. I love you guys too. And I will see you tomorrow.